Hey, what's going on? I'm Blockabilly, and in this video I'm going to be doing an assembly and review of this light-tailing kit for the LEGO Technic 4x4 Extreme Off-Road truck. That's LEGO set 42099. Lighttailing contacted me and they asked me if there were any sets I ever wanted to put lights on, and I said, absolutely. I've always wanted lights for this truck. It's a really awesome truck, and you can see it's got the headlights and these other lights up here, and of course tail lights. And it's just going to be so awesome to be able to get it lit up. And the best part is they also have these other running lights and accent lights that are going to make it look really cool. So let me get this box open and show you what we got. We've got their instruction book in there. It's all pictures, so it should be pretty simple to follow. Service card. And this is just like universal instructions telling you the do's and don'ts about using their lighting kits. Comes with a battery box. This one's going to use 3 AA's. And a bag with the lights. One of the cool features with lighttailing is that they use actual LEGO elements. So you know you're using genuine LEGO pieces and just adding the lights. I really like that. It looks like we have 24 individual LED lights here. One of the first things I'm going to do before I do anything else is test the lights. Ooh, pretty. And it looks like they're all working. Here's what the instructions look like. They're pretty clear. If you just go slow and take your time to look at the pictures to try to understand what they're saying, it all makes sense. There's no words to guide you, but I think it's pretty explicit. In fact, it seems like the instructions go kind of slow. Like, it's obvious that you take the pins off and then you have the 2 pieces there. So it seems like they really go out of their way to go slow and make sure they show you every step. So here we go. I've got a lot of this off already, the wheel assembly and everything. Some of these pieces are kind of hard to get off, but I'm just using the disassembly tool here to try to pry it apart carefully. Okay, there we go. Next, it's telling me to lay out the LEDs. The instructions are really clear that this wire can be fragile, so you got to be very careful as you're taking this apart. Stretch it a little bit to get the kinks out. I think what's a little cut out of the photo is that that's a continuous loop right there. So I need to set mine up in that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So lights 1 and 2 go right through here. And from this step here, they have you start reassembling. As you reassemble this, you have to push the LED and Technic pin into that middle slot, so it is a little tricky. There's not a lot of wire length, which I think is a good thing, so it doesn't look all sloppy when you're done, but it does make it a little challenging to maneuver all these things. Ooh, there we go. See, there's a little light there. That was challenging. Now the other side, there we go. Wow, not exactly easy, but I have to admit it's kind of fun. It's a new challenge that I haven't had to do before. Now after all that pulling and whatnot, I better make sure it's still working. Ah, good, still working. So in that last step, I fished the wire all the way around here and underneath this piece, and then there's an LED that goes right in here, and now it comes back out over here. And I'm guessing that these two, of course, are going to be the lights that go behind this wheel. And they give you just the right amount of length of wire, because if this wire was any longer, I'm sure it would get tangled down in those gears. So it's just the right length to make sure it's not going to get tangled up anywhere. So the next part is the next rear wheel. And so I'm going to do that real quick. I'll do that off camera so you don't have to watch that again. So I got this next set in here, and we'll give them a little test. And thankfully they're still working. It still is a little tricky, but doing it the second time did go a little bit easier. You kind of get to know what you're doing as you go. Okay, so I fished it through this middle piece here. It's that pivot right here. So I fished it through there. Then you have to move this piece and run the wire behind that. And then you got one more LED in here to match the other side. And these last two go right in the front. And there we are. So that run of lights is all done. And again, we'll do one little test. Got this one there. And that one. And that one. They don't look really bright right now, but that's because I've got my bright camera light going. The next part is replacing the tail lights. So you're actually just replacing the two 1x2 plates, and then the other pieces just stack right on top. And before you start, you got to make sure you get this laid out correctly, because it was a little confusing to me at first when I was looking at the pictures. It looks like you go passenger side to driver's side, with the remainder of these lights going to the driver's side. This bit here is really cool. They don't have you put the whole light assembly back on. You just put their clear bricks with the LEDs right on the black plate. So now I'm down to the final 6 lights here. It looks like the lights are going to shine all the way down through to the bottom. So that should look pretty cool. So this isn't in the instructions, but I'm just going to use a little sticky putty to stick the wires down here a little bit. Well, here it is, all complete. I'll show you with the ambient lights off in a second, but I just want to show you one thing in the instructions. After you put the headlights on and the last 2 door lights, it kind of seems like the instructions end kind of abruptly. They have you tuck in these wires here, but they don't really tell you what to do with the battery box. And the instructions so far have been super thorough, so it's kind of strange they don't really tell you. What I did was I just have it kind of tucked back here. There's a little extra length of wire in the back on the battery box, so I just kind of tuck it down and have it sitting there like that. I don't know, it doesn't really fit in flat, so there's not really a really secure place to put it, but I guess it works there. Oh, except I gotta make sure those wires don't fall down. So I'm gonna have to make sure that this wire gets tucked nicely somehow, so that when you're actually driving it, it doesn't get caught in any gears or anything. So here it is with some of my ambient light turned down. I think this looks awesome, and I love the colors of lights they chose. So for like what would be the main headlights, you've got really traditional like yellow light, but then for, I don't know, the floodlights, you've got this brighter white light, then more yellow interior lights, and then the really subtle red lights down at the bottom that kind of light up the wheels. And then here's what I was saying about the door lights, the blue, they're meant to shine down, and then you get this cool effect underneath. More red lights back here, kind of shine through the wheels. Tail lights, and look at how the red lights light up the shocks and everything. That's pretty cool. Interior. And then you also have underneath, you've got this red one and that red one. So I really have to say, in person, this looks so much better. I feel like my camera is not capturing how cool this looks. So let me give you some of my final thoughts on this. I think these lights are awesome. They're really good quality. I love that they use actual Lego pieces to put their LEDs in, so that you know everything's going to fit and it's really good quality, and you can maintain your build with all Lego pieces. The one piece I didn't like so much were these two headlights, because the way the LED fits in there, you can't fit it on the Technic pin very well. So it's not really secured in there. Like, it's not falling off, but it's not pressed in all the way. I didn't like that so much. And then it would be nice if the battery box could be secured a little bit better. So maybe I'll come up with something. Maybe there's some way to have it on here like this better, and then I can fasten the wires a little bit better with more sticky putty or something. So I'm sure I can clean that up a little bit. So this yellow piece and the main part of the truck are connected now with a wire, so you can't just yank it off. You have to kind of carefully set it aside, do whatever you're doing, change the batteries. So that's just something to keep in mind. And lastly, I think the instructions could be printed a little bit more clearly. There's just some difficult areas where, like, the black wire crosses a black piece and it completely disappears. So you do have to look pretty carefully at what you're doing. And really, it's not any harder. You just have to slow down a little bit and really make sure you understand what you're looking at. They do give a nice close-up here, so that's good. But I don't know, in other areas, that black wire just disappears. So maybe there would be some way to highlight that a little bit better. Well, I have to say, I'm really happy with this light kit. I think it is just so cool. It has so many things that I wanted in a light kit for this truck. So thank you so much to Lightailing for sending me this light kit. And I highly recommend checking out some of their stuff. They have really great prices, and oftentimes you can find it on sale.